All right. That should work. Okay. Okay. So, let me get comfortable here. Move some stuff around. So, my lovely people, thank you for being here. T-Bone, unfortunately, is not with us today, so we will continue without him. Welcome to the Midday Rush, everyone. Today we're joined with Brian and GC Windsor, as GC Windsor is our special guest for today. How are you doing?
Good, really good.
Are you
Glad
ready
to be here, actually. I really felt like we did a really good interview.
Yeah? Are you ready for, oh, we gotta have Atmore up on stage. Atmore, how can I help you, sir?
I was gonna tell you, if you want, I can come up here and act all crazy and shit and be wild and then like high energy. If you want that, I can do all that.
If you want to,
direction whatsoever, I can do all that for you.
If you want to.
No, we're good.
All right.
I love your show, guys. Great fucking show.
Thank you. All righty. Here we go then. We're just gonna hop right into it.
Best way to do it.
Yeah, here we go. So, New York City is in a state of emergency due to the flooding. Roads, subways, and basements are all flooded. The rain is caused by the hurricane and tropical storm coming into the city. And if you're in New York City or some of the suburbs, please be careful while you're out there driving. Things were not looking good. A lot of people are having issues getting around, and some people are having issues traveling around the city. So be careful. That is top story for the day. What is it? They had to rebuild the subway system because it was flooding so much. Does anybody remember that?
If that's the case, I mean, I've seen some floods and everything, and I mean, other than the New Orleans crap that happened a long time ago, I don't know if it's that bad, then that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's up to knee depth on these two people here in this photo. That's a lot, because I mean, if you look at this vehicle here that's there, that could easily slip a belt off of the car and cause a lot of issues with the engine issues.
The worst thing there, thinking about all the cars, I can't imagine. I have an Infiniti Q50, and I would hate for that thing to be drenched.
Right. Oh, God. Is it the whole New York area or particular burbs? I believe it is New York City and the surrounding suburbs, closest to the. Oh, here you go. Looks like it's mostly Brooklyn area, some south of New Jersey area, and kind of Rhode Island, Massachusetts area. But it's mostly New York City and Brooklyn. Seems to be having the worst part. So there was a bombing in Pakistan today. Dozens killed at a Muslim celebration. I will not be showing the video, but there's 52 people killed in a bombing. There was a celebrating of a birthday of an Islamic prophet in the southwest Pakistan, and injuring 70 people, killing 52. It says the authorities says it was a suicide bombing. And there was 500 people gathered to celebrate the birth anniversary of Muhammad. So they're calling this a terrorism aspect of things. Now the whole of the Pakistan Taliban is taking credit. Looks like. So what do you guys think? Hate crime or just more par for the course?
I mean, it doesn't get a lot of coverage outside of the Middle East, but there is much interdenominational violence among fellow Muslims, as there is violence between Muslims and peoples of other faiths.
Fair enough.
I don't know. When it always comes to religion, it's always just it goes from it's peace because we all understand each other to you just did something, I'm gonna blow something up. Like
Right.
it's always tough. It's always tough to even side with anyone on that does something so egregious just for religion. It's like, dude, calm your shit.
Right. I figured this was worth noting because bombing like this usually drags a lot of attention.
I mean, sadly, this really is kind of par for the course in that part of the world.
Yep, sadly. Other news: Joe Biden in Arizona. He has views on democracy, government shutdown, and Trump. So, in a nutshell, he went to Arizona State University and announced at a national library in the honor of his late friend John McCain. He said that American institutions have been damaged by attacks within. Biden delivering his most forceful remarks on the topic since his predecessor was trying to overturn the results of the last presidential election. He says, quoting, "And for the institutional damage, we see distrust, division among our own people. I'm here to tell you, we lose these institutions of our government at our own peril." And he had to throw some shade at Trump. This is a dangerous notion that the president is above the law. No limits on power. Trump says the Constitution gave him the rights to do whatever he wants as president. I've never even heard of a president say that in jest. Not guided by the Constitution or by comments or service towards our fellow Americans, but by vengeance and vindictiveness. Which I'm surprised Biden got that word out.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, I don't. This quoting. It says it's quoted though that he actually said it.
Oh, come on.
But Biden asked what do they intend to do once they erode the Constitution requirements, and show me the video. I think there's a video. Oh, let me turn this up. Hammer and tongue debates we have in the Senate.
Can't hear it, Fluff.
Can't hear it. Oh
Can't
man.
hear it.
All right. Well then, if you can't hear it, you can go to USA Today and find that video and watch on your own then. I can't fix audio issues on the fly like that. I'm not Surge. I can't do it. But pretty much he went up there and said like the government's having issues with democracy and he's the reason why you should vote for him in the next run because he's going to fix it. So a whole lot of nothing. That's what I heard. It was a whole lot of nothing. Sweet promises of nothing.
Yeah. It's always just crap when it comes out of his mouth.
He is.
I don't know. It's tough to even because you know that when he says something stupid, something ridiculous, they just somehow decide, okay, this is what he said. This is what he meant. But then I guess he said something coherent. I got to watch this video myself.
Right.
And then everybody's just like, look, he's ruling the world, guys.
He's destroying democracy with words.
No fucking Christ.
Something kind of weird. There's a YouTuber that's a prankster, and he was shot doing one of his video pranks. And the jury acquitted the delivery driver he tried to prank on the main charges in the shooting of this YouTuber. But the guy is still in jail because they found him guilty on the other charge of aggravated assault instead of attempted murder. So this one's weird. So to kind of break it down, this YouTuber, Tanner Cook, I guess he does a lot of pranking videos. And so in one of his pranks, he was following a delivery driver and was walking towards him and saying weird words, which made the delivery driver upset, smacked the phone out of the guy's hand, and shot him in the chest. Now, Tanner Cook is alive. He survived the shooting, but it was just recently that the judge or that the jury came out and said that, okay, he is not guilty of attempted murder, but he's guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So, what do you guys think?
I love
Honestly,
these. I don't know. Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, this is kind of an interesting case. Looks like the jury split some hairs, but I think they ultimately came to the right conclusion because, first of all, play silly games, win silly challenges. Yeah, FAFO. And but on the other hand, it sounds to me like, okay, dude, the guy who got who's in jail, who did the shooting, said he first slapped the phone out of his hand and then he shot him.
Correct.
And I mean, yeah, the pulling the gun I would call an overreaction. So yeah, aggravated assault. I can see where the jury came down on that. Yeah.
No, I see it too, but you know, I think it would have been better if he would have slapped him in the face and then. No,
Right.
I always find these so stupid because, like, hell, you know what I always find impressive is the guys that go to the hood and fuck around with the, you know, with those people, and like you should, I swear you should hear way more of them just getting shot, but then it's a random ass. Is it a startup? Did he just start doing this?
So this guy has 600,000 viewers or concurrent followers.
So he escalated quick.
What was the context of the prank? So the context of the prank was this guy was walking up to the delivery driver, holding up his phone and using Google Translate to say, "Hey dips, quit thinking about my twinkle." And the delivery driver said stop and tried to get away, and the Collie kept going. No, Cook is the YouTuber, Collie is the driver. So Cook kept pushing his phone into the face of this driver. According to this, it was about 6 inches away from his face. And then after the third time he said stop is when he slapped the phone away and then shot him. The charges were abrogated malice wounding and malice discharge of a firearm. That's what he was actually charged with, was malice discharge of a firearm, not malice wounding. I'm not too sure. Oh, he's got 50,000 subscribers. I'm wrong. I thought it said 600,000.
Oh, that puny motherfucker.
Right. Yes, pretty much. That slapped the phone out of his hand and then shot him. Yeah.
And then showed him his penis. No, shot him. There we go. No, yeah.
Apparently, there's a 30-second video out there. If you would like to watch it, it is out there. So they have released it.
No, that's aggravated. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, trust me. We definitely get that. I 100% agree with the judge on this. I mean, that just seriously, you don't have to go so crazy over something that, I mean, you're supposed to assess any situation. If you're trained for it, you're not trained for it. You're not trained for it, you still don't freak out.
Right.
And you got some serious aggression issues if your first thing is to pull a gun out on someone that doesn't even have a weapon. Like,
right, that's true.
Christ.
That's
like if it's
true.
a mob, it's a different story, right? A mob, a bunch of people, there's that they can kill you because they can also gang up on you and beat the living shit out of you. But if it's just one guy.
Right.
No.
So I don't know the laws in Virginia, but this is in Leesburg, Virginia. Do they have a stand your ground law? Because if that's the case, then he shouldn't be charged. That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't know what the specific laws are in that part of Virginia, but I mean, I would say, like I said, just starting off, it looks to me like the jury got it right. So,
all right. Thinking talking about things getting it right. Well, this is more things are getting it wrong. Hello, Atmore. How can I help you?
I was going to tell you there is no stand your ground position to take here. In your face with a phone, if I get in your face with a phone, you have no right to deadly force. You can whoop my ass, but you can't shoot me.
Okay.
That's all. I was going to add to that.
Okay, since you're a police officer of Texas area, I believe. So like, I guess the question comes down to what defines when you're protected under stand your ground law? Is it only when the other person has already tried to assault you?
Stand your ground to protect yourself against bodily harm.
Bodily
Harm,
harm.
physical impairment, someone threatening your life, someone puts a gun in your hand, someone grabs a stick, knife, or club, someone threatens your, I guess, your impairment, threatens your livelihood, anything like that at all, take or steals from you, any kind of life-threatening possibility or somewhere thereof, you can then stand your ground and protect yourself from that. Someone
Okay.
puts a phone in your face and annoys you, you can't shoot them. That's not
Okay.
going to happen. And if you do, you go to jail.
All right, fair enough. Thank you, sir, for the law degree lesson, I guess. So Canada is serious about ties with the India despite Roe. So there was this whole thing between India and Canada going on, a pretty big spat, and Trudeau pretty much said he's trying to build ties with India as best as he can, but the Indian government is not having any of it. India is very mad at Canada for pretty much calling them out at handling I believe it was a killing of a Canadian citizen, because Trudeau, I might be getting my facts wrong. I believe Trudeau pretty much said, how can a country this big have so little laws when it comes to human preservation? And then India really got mad. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, I don't know. So you got the facts? Are you sure that's how it really went?
I don't know. For sure, I don't know. I just know that Canada pretty much wagged the finger in front of India, and India is pissed.
I mean, if you're taking Canada seriously, then you got some issues.
Right. Trudeau said they are investigating credible sources that it was India. Oh, okay, but they did not give evidence they have. Okay. So that's what it was. I believe Canada and India are trade partners. So what would this do to their trade relationships?
I mean, it could. It could possibly, if it escalated, they could start. I mean, I don't know if they're most favored nation trading partner status with each other, but one could, if they're that, one could revoke the other one, start, placing tariffs on whatever. I mean, it might lead to a trade war where Canada puts tariffs on incoming Canadian goods or Indian goods, and India does the same thing with incoming Canadian goods. I doubt it would escalate to anything military, but at the end of the day, it's Canada. Who cares?
Right. Fair enough.
Exactly.
Canada, who cares? For those of you in California, in California, can you tell I've been playing Fallout too much? California law rises minimum wage to fast food workers to $20 per hour. So, yeah. I hope you're ready to pay $20 for a hamburger.
Jesus Christ.
I'm telling you, I mean, In-N-Out is overrated anyway. Okay, Whataburger is where it's at. Okay.
Yeah.
Whataburger all the way. I've been In-N-Out. I thought it was all right.
Every Californian in this room.
Yeah. This is part of Newsom's signature. He, I guess, went to the labor unions and said, like, oh, this is what we need? Okay. And then raised the minimum wage to fast food workers at $20.
Fuck it.
So,
You know what? Just pay him way above a fucking CEO.
no,
You know, let the
right?
CEO stay where he's at. Nah, just strip him of everything he got.
Right?
Seriously, why in the fuck does everybody still like? All right, so this is a little bit funny take on this stuff because I've always fought against this whole increase your wage, right? And it's like, all right. So at one point when everybody feels a problem, and then when they feel this thing hit them in the face is when they realize and they wake up. This is like a long-term wake up. I don't feel like anyone's really going to wake up from this because they're just going to continue to keep ruining the economy or their economy, definitely within their state, further and further by raising their wages, cutting jobs most likely, right? There's going to have to be some fucking I'm sure there's plans, right? CEOs thinking, all right, let's just start minimizing some shit. Let's put some robots in. Fuck these guys. Eventually, we're just gonna need the maintenance guy.
Yeah.
I mean, take a look at. I mean, when's the last time you actually walked into a McDonald's and ordered at the counter as opposed to using a drive-through? Or most people use the online app. The
Yeah.
fast food industry is so automated at this point already. I mean, really, the only thing they could do would be have robot burger flippers at this point.
Yeah. And some of those are already in the works.
AI and robotics, man. Put those things together, you're gonna make the perfect burger. No motherfucker's gonna compete with that shit. Oh my god. I just imagine this robot back there just, 500 burgers a second.
And once it goes haywire, it starts just throwing raw burgers at people. Just wait. I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now.
Well, and because I mean, and I'm using McDonald's in this example, what will happen is the burger flipping machine will become like the ice cream machine. Sorry, a good match today. The person, the person who knows how to fix the burger flipping machine is in our other store fixing their machine today. So
Yep.
Ay,
Auto
ay,
order
ay.
all the damn time. Slap it on there. Auto order. Wait. We get
What?
$30 or $40 an hour burger flipper back.
It just screams the death of the economy. That's what it really does. Like, hey, are you ready to make a lot of money that's worthless? Come on down. Ay. This is actually some good news. Appeals court upholds Tennessee and Kentucky bans on trans care for minors. The court rejected a challenge by families of transgender children who have been arguing that the bans discriminate on the basis of sex. So, the federal appeals court on Thursday allowed Tennessee and Kentucky to enforce the laws banning gender-affirming medical care for minors, such as puberty blockers, hormones, and surgery. This, I believe, is a win. I think we're winning. What do you guys think? I'm pretty sure I know your opinions on this, but what do you guys think?
I wouldn't call it a win. I'd call it a first down.
First down. Fair enough.
Because the next level appeals court will probably, overturn that lower court, or it'll go to the damn Supreme Court most likely. I can see.
I like your analogy of the first down.
Yeah, no, Brian, you have it right. That's like, take every white pill as possible. I mean, if this is a white pill to you or not, right? And then just I feel like it's always just it's a good sign, a good step. We take that, continue to keep pushing forward. Like never just say we won, cool, win, done. I'm gonna go chill. It's like no, fuck it. Take this and continue to move it forward. And if it's if for some reason it gets pushed down, it just means we didn't try hard enough.
Yeah, that's true. I've got depressing news, everyone. I have really depressing news. Dianne Fienstein has passed away today at age 90. Yeah.
Small violin, tiny violin.
Right.
This is my distraught upset and yeah, this is my distraught face.
I mean, I don't want to revel in the death of somebody, but I don't think she would have been happy sending her time in the Senate through this whole time she's been pretty much sick and out. So I don't know.
Well, right, we don't you don't want to revel in anything exactly. But
Well,
who cares? I don't know. I'm saying.
I will not celebrate over her passing because that's very low class and frankly beneath me. But I'm not going to mourn her passing either. I mean, when she got
Yeah.
to the point where her daughter had taken over conservatorship over her personal affairs,
Yeah.
uh, she should have gracefully resigned the Senate, and it was a safe seat because Gavin Newsom. I'm not quite sure how it works, but I'm pretty sure Gavin Newsom would have had a hand in. And as it is now, he still will have a hand in choosing her immediate successor. So there was no reason for her to hold on to that seat for so long.
Right. I mean, it is sad. That's all.
Yeah, I think that's the saddest part there is like I seriously don't know what's going on in their minds that they just think they're the only ones there, only ones possible to do that job. And I don't know. It's like they don't say it, but like you see it, you
Right.
Right.
in dust.
It's one of the, I feel like everyone should know, like, hey, this is what happened. Does anybody know what she actually did?
No.
Neither do I.
I know she was behind a lot of initiatives to promote inclusiveness in the military.
Champion Bill Clinton said she was a champion of civil rights and civil liberties, environmental protection, and a strong national security. Okay, so she wasn't good for any of that. Got it.
And I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I believe that she was the one that pushed the initial quote unquote assault weapons ban in the 90s. She was
sure.
she did most of the heavy lifting behind that.
Okay. Alrighty then. She was huge on gun control. All right. Good to know.
Oh, yes, she was huge on gun control. So, like I said, not going to celebrate her passing, but I'm not going to mourn it either. I mean, anyone who knows me, and I think most of the people who know me on this Discord know that I'm a Second Amendment absolutist. So,
I'm right there with you.
not sorry to see her gone. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not celebrating.
Not celebrating. Just happy she's not there anymore.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna make much of a difference, like you said. Someone else is gonna take her place that's gonna be just like her, or worse. Who knows?
Right.
All right. And much like the good senator, this horse is dead.
Yep. Oh. Alrighty. Are you guys ready for the main event?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
I'll be playing along with everyone else. I have no prior knowledge of this one.
Ooh.
So, the man has arrived, the man of the hour, the champion,
T-Bone.
Hall of Famer.
T-Bone.
All right. I believe you shall all see this on screen. The bee or not the bee? You are voting for the fake article. T-Bone, sir, are you ready? I guess T-Bone's muted. Okay, everyone. You're able to vote in chat. Type a 1 if you think it's the first article. Type a 2 if you think it's the second article. Oh man, I'm behind the game. I didn't have all these things. Everyone's typing so fast. Oh geez. 2, 1, 2, 2. Jesus Christ. Okay, you're all messing with me. Stop it. All right. Article 1. Australians can't get over how Americans eat their sandwiches. Article 2. Biden admin reports a dangerous African immigrant at the border. What do you think it is? Which one's the fake one?
I'll just go on record. I think number 2 is a fake article.
Okay.
I don't. That's my vote. Number 2. Brian, put it down. Brian's voting 2.
Okay.
Oh man.
Ooh.
I feel like Biden would say some bullshit like that. Even when he's a part of the agenda. You know what? It's number 1.
It's number 1. Jeff says it's number 1.
Not a psyop. I really think 2 is the fake article. I had no prior knowledge on this. This is the first one that I have no prior knowledge. So
T-Bone,
that's my
sir.
disclaimer.
Oh shit, I just said Biden admin. Fuck. I already chose 1.
Looks like T-Bone typed in the chat 2. All right.
Okay, so I'm with you on this one, T-Bone. I think it's 2 as well.
All righty then. From the Babylon Bee. Biden administration reports dangerous African immigrant at the border, citing Elon Musk. Is at the border.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
T-Bone.
So someone typed it in Biden administration. I was like, shit.
From the Daily Mail. Australians can't get over how Americans eat their sandwiches. Help us understand. Oh, jeez. I found this article. I said, no. This will get people. I got 1. I got for sure 1. Alrighty then. I'm just going to close this out here. Thank you everyone for playing. I appreciate you all being here. So yes, before we continue, our good friend Jeff Windsor is up here to shill his product real fast. Jeff, what do you got for me?
Hey. Yeah, so for the majority of you that know about my product, I'm glad that you're here to hear some more because I will shill right on. But yeah, so we just had an interview, which I would love for everybody to check out when they have the time once Fluffy puts it up.
I will be putting that up later tonight.
Perfect. And yeah, I'll share it, push it around, and hopefully you guys share it too. And I think it did pretty well. It was pretty engaging. It went on all about the GC Windsor, of course. The GC Windsor being the one and only upgrade to the traditional necktie. Pretty perfect. I know. I'm just going off of just how much it goes from combinations, unlimited combinations, ease of use, how fast you saw me, and you'll see it on there. I just put it on. I did fuck up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, you did.
It's still faster than anything else out there.
That's true.
And when you get better than me, when eventually you get better than me after you purchase one of these, then you can race me on this.
Right.
And then the last but not least, the multiplicative value for each purchase, which it means when you purchase one, it's not just one tie. It is 2 ties, one unit, right? More knots you get, more ties you get, the multiple amount of multiplicative amount of units and combinations you'll have.
Send one to Fetterman. He needs one.
No, listen, I won't be insulted for anyone wearing one, but fuck that if you be the first one to wear it, all right? I'd find him and I'd tear it off his ass.
I mean, Jeff, you really need to figure out how to get one to primetime Alex Stein.
That's what we were talking about.
Miami's gonna be there. He's gonna be there. I'm gonna have as many news as possible. I'm gonna meet him.
All righty. Before we continue, I was instructed to do an announcement for the Timcast Discord, speaking of Miami. So we all know that the Miami event is going on October 6th. there will be no YouTube video for that Friday. Instead, I've been told, and if the information is wrong, you can go crucify Sinoski in the Discord for this. I have been told that the live viewing can be found here on the same exact event stage during the Friday. So you're able to come to the event stage and watch it here on Discord. That is what I've been told. So if it's wrong, go blame Sinoski.
I mean, so Friday, it's a win-win for everybody. Come to the stage at 6 o'clock for the midday rush.
Yes.
Stick around for the before IRL. You don't have to go anywhere. You can stay right here and watch IRL live.
Yes.
Perfect. I like it.
Sounds nice to me.
Alrighty, so we're going to open up the last portion of this to callers for anybody to bring up their thoughts, opinions, or any kind of need for clarification.
Or any
Here's your
questions for me?
Here's your opportunity to say, "Shut the fuck up, Brian."
Or, get off the stage hobo. Either one. Sparky from Ohio, how can we help you, sir? I'm assuming it's sir. Only men call themselves Sparky.
Excuse me, there are some very female electricians that also call themselves Mrs. Sparky.
I'm
talking
sure.
about-
Yep.
All right.
I don't know a single female electrician. That's just kind of a thought to put out there. It's a real shame that all of these shows on the Timcast Discord are only saved here, like, for the duration of the show. How is there not a recording of all this stuff to be put on, also to put out on the Timcast podcast or a similar vein or venture?
So the midday rush here is actually being recorded live, and you can find this on the Fluffy Hobo Show on YouTube and Rumble. So what we're doing is pretty much a proof of concept, so that way we can get it up and ready for everyone here.
That's awesome. I take back my criticism of you for the most part. Some of the part. Yeah. But yeah. No, that's actually really awesome to hear. Because, like, the Timcast show is great and all that stuff, but there's something to be said about hearing about different points of view from people who are, like, unknown. It's like the common man. Like,
Yes.
just spouting their ideas about what's going on in today's day and age. And I think that is awesome, both for the 6 o'clock rush and also for the After Dark show, or whatever that one is that goes on after the Timcast IRL thing.
Yep. The After Dark Show, hosted here on the Timcast Discord. Correct.
Special guest tonight, Dr. Mac.
Is it really?
Yes, sir.
No kidding. You got the spotlight. Congrats.
I don't know who that
Yep,
is.
yep.
Oh, she was. Of course. No, yeah.
And,
That was awesome, man. I can't wait to listen in.
Pretty much there, man.
Yeah. And I also want to give a shout out because while I was listening to you all tonight, I was getting my truck cleaned out and ready for the opening day of bow season in Ohio. So hopefully I'm going to go out and grab myself a deer and get me a couple 100 pounds of untaxed meat, which is something that I think everybody should strive for.
Are you getting the untaxed meat from hunting? Is that what you said?
No, he
Yeah,
said
it's opening.
he said unvaxxed meat.
Oh, unvaxxed meat. Okay.
Well,
are good.
I wouldn't call it unvaxxed because Bill Gates has his mosquitoes out and they also feed on deer. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what you're getting vaccinated meat, but it's untaxed, which is freaking awesome in my opinion. Even a small deer is about 100 pounds of meat, lean meat, which is like between 85 and 92% just pure meat, and like 80-20 meat, at least in the Kroger's by my location. It's like $5 a pound. So for the cheap cost of a hunting license, which I've got a multi-year one, and $30 for a tag, I can hope
Wait,
to grab myself a couple 100 pounds.
Your deer are only a couple 100 pounds of net weight for after you're done. Wow. Okay. Man, here in Indiana, we must raise them fat because usually you can get about 180 to 200 pounds of meat off of them. We got all that corn running around that they eat off of, so I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, no, our deer just feed on car bumpers for the most part. So most of the time they don't have it retarded.
You know, I was
So,
talking
like,
to someone else about this earlier. I said my hunting average with a 91 Caravan is a lot higher than my 308. I'm kind of upset about it.
dude, I can't even hunt with a rifle and a half for the most part. Just taking out my bow tomorrow. And hopefully my broadhead will hit one of those deer I fucking hit with my work truck and my personal truck for the last couple of months.
Right.
You know,
I mean,
I get
so
one
far,
with the indent of OH in it for my license plate. I'll be happy.
Yes.
so far, I'm 1-for-1 against Turkey with a 2023 Nissan Kick.
All right.
God
So,
damn it,
I don't know
Brian.
if I can claim this or not, but I've taken out a bald eagle in a work truck before.
Ooh.
In Indiana,
Ooh.
actually. Like, I
Yeah.
almost went back to claim
That's
it, but
un-American.
like, oh. Well, it's an un-American to thin the population of dumbasses.
Yeah.
Like, you're in the middle of the road. Like, I think at that point, it's like, yeah, you know what? It's unfortunate I hit you, but hopefully your children aren't that stupid that go eat in the middle of the road. My
Right.
bad.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to the conversation, sir? Or is that it?
Hey, I don't know how they do stuff
Oh.
up in Ohio, Sparky, but here in Kentucky, roadkill harvest is legal as long as you notify the game warden.
Yep. Same thing with Indiana.
It's legal here too, but most of the time they have enough oomph to get up and run off the road far enough that you can't go pick it up from somebody's front fucking yard. But
Oh.
something to add to that is I made myself an awesome little garden this year, and I think I've got like 25 to 30 quarts of home canned tomatoes that has nothing but a little bit of citric acid in it to preserve it. Made some
Nice.
pickles, made some jam and jelly, and you know, I think that's something that everybody should get into. I mean, whether or not you can grow it yourself, but like you can almost always grow a couple of tomato plants. Doesn't matter how big your yard is. You can even put some in some
If
5-gallon
I'm
buckets.
lying, Sparky or Dr. Mac, but in homesteading, kind of your shtick, kind of sort of.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I got a cabin and I've got lots of plans and lots of land, but I don't have anything up and running yet.
I mean,
I guess I've talked a big game and not lived up to it.
you'll get there. Don't
Well,
worry.
a lot of it does depend on your land because here in Claremont County, it's all clay. It took me literally 2 months solid of tilling and actually buying decent soil to mix it in with the clay. And I've started composting now, and I've been mixing that in too. But I've got my first plants that planted in the clay soil that did diddly shit.
Yeah.
But after I conditioned the soil and spent all that time on it, it really did pay off. And if nothing else, you know, hopefully I can do all this homegrown shit I grow, preserve to mix in with some deer chili and shit, which is the
Good.
goal.
Man, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does.
What's your take on all this kind of stuff, Dr. Mac? I mean, I know I know homesteading, prepping that is kind of in your interest house, I guess. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I'm adjacent to all that. Like I support it all. I'm a big fan of goats. When you look at like milk and meat,
Yeah,
how much
yeah.
how much you get back for how much like food you have to put in. You
Right.
don't have to feed them really anything. They'll eat anything.
That's not true.
But then like specifically the milk, like goats are the way to go if you're trying to do like self sustenance kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, I want to put an apple orchard in. I'm all about the permaculture, like the plants you don't have to replant every year. You get an apple orchard in. Apples might not be your favorite thing. I try to avoid carbs, but in like a supply chain breakdown or something worse, civil war, apocalypse, whatever. If you've got an apple orchard, like you're never gonna starve. Like you might not be getting all the vital nutrients that apples don't provide, but you'll
No,
never
but
starve. And
but
they'll
if,
draw other animals, which like deer, which you can kill and eat them and get
Oh,
your
yeah.
protein and stuff.
and if
So
you're part of a homesteading community, you've got apples to trade for.
absolutely.
Yeah.
For a
Yeah,
lot of
especially if
people,
you
So
can
you
make
know,
apple liquor out of it too.
oh yeah, if you got
you can
excess.
make liquor out
But
of
in those kind of
anything.
dire
Wow.
situations, something like an apple, which we easily like neglect or let rot nowadays. Like if somebody's got cattle or whatever they're doing on their land, something like an apple, like or several apples, so they can make an apple pie if they haven't had one in a year. They haven't
Oh
had a Snickers
yeah,
bar or a gas station treat. Like an apple could be like a big deal to somebody in one of these, like Dust Bowl, Civil War kind of situations.
absolutely.
All right, Dr. Mac, if I couldn't maybe make a little comment about that. Talk about an apple orchard. When I think of an orchard, I think of more than just a tree or two. Like apple orchards, they require acres of land, correct? Like
You
I
can.
tried to give me
I don't have the textbook definition in front of me, but I would say if you have less than 20 trees, you don't have an orchard.
So around here, there's a couple of apple orchards nearby. They have about 30 trees on about 1 acre of property.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
They can live pretty close together and be just fine. Apple trees are one of those weird brands of tree that can just work together real close.
And you don't need like super flat land either. I mean,
Right.
You can't grow them like on the hillside necessarily, at least not close. But you can have some pretty rough terrain and get your trees in.
They dig deep and they stay. That's what that is. They go for that groundwater.
But if you're living in like a more residential-ish area, like I think I got like a half acre of land. That's what I kind of got to work with. What I do is I incentivize the mulberries I have on my land to grow. I don't cut them down or do shit like that like my neighbors do because they're like a weed. They grow no matter what. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing as with apples, only almost a little bit better. Is that they high in sugar, so you can make liquors out of them if you need to. And no matter what, a liquor's a great disinfectant. That's why I have my stills to make disinfectants.
I mean,
Without touching
again, a bar material. If the economy goes to complete, your money's worthless. Whatever.
Yeah.
Again,
100.
Yeah.
Liquor is an extremely valuable bartering resource
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of reasons, and not just so people can get drunk. There's medicinal properties, there's antiseptic properties, all that.
Also, another bargaining chip not a lot of people think about is if the apocalypse does happen or any kind of civil strife, go to the nearest gas station and take all the cigarettes. That is a bartering tool you will have. You're laughing, but I'm right.
I'm laughing because I'm not a smoker and I've never been a smoker, but anytime in the Army that we were going to go out to the field for more than a week, I would buy some dip and cigarettes because those things were worth like gold and trade value with
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, Doc.
I'm laughing because I know you're right.
Yep.
I would say
Give me
the
half a
best
sandwich.
store of value,
I'll give you
the
cigarette.
best store of value when it comes to the apocalypse kind of stuff is spices, because like, you can cook your deer, do anything you want with anything that you make. But if you don't have sugar and salt, I mean, is steak really that good without a little bit of salt on it? Like, yeah, it's sustaining. But there's been wars fought for just salt alone.
Yeah.
Salt, sugar, spices, like stock up on that shit. That's one thing that I've always had a healthy supply of.
Even today, saffron is really valuable. Like per pound, it's one of the most like valuable things you can grow, and you can grow it right here in the U.S. It's one of those like I don't grow it either, but why aren't we? Why aren't we all growing like saffron? I guess we'd drop the bottom out of the market.
What is saffron?
It's not terribly hard to grow, but it's very valuable.
What is saffron?
Do you use to cook with that?
Yeah.
It's just one of those spices that's in like lots of different things, like things we don't think about, like it in combination spices and stuff. It's just a plant.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of it before.
What kind of taste does it have? Yeah.
I'm not like the saffron expert. I know I'd kind of introduced it as though I were, but I got to be 100%. It keeps popping. So you asked me about like prep and stuff, and
Yeah.
I said I'm adjacent to that world. I'm not really living it yet, but it keeps popping up. Like as I look at things, it just keeps popping up.
Good. Thinking about seasoning and whatnot, like in case there is some kind of thing like to where you can't really get a lot of stuff. I highly recommend going to like farm stores if you can and buying a deer salt lick, because you can water that down and use that in an emergency situation to get salt and minerals.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
I mean, if the deer will eat it and it's in nature, I mean, it's got to be good for you, right?
Never thought about it, but
Yeah.
it makes sense to me.
And
I tell people, back during, coming out of COVID and the summer of love, people were worried about, like, because the toilet paper disappeared at one point, and then people's like neighborhoods are getting attacked by mobs, so they don't want to go out, and there was a lot of uncertainty. We'll just summarize it and put it that way: a lot of uncertainty. And so, I was telling people, well, with the economy, how much is my money going to be able to buy? So I was telling people, like I said, I'm not a big carbs guy. Like I tell people to avoid sugar. I fail at it myself, but I do try.
hey,
But
I'm right there with you.
Halloween time, around Easter time, when those candies, out of season candies, go on sale, some of those have a pretty long shelf life. The
Oh
only reason
yeah,
they're on sale is because they have the branding for like the season. So if you buy some of that and stuff it away, and you can actually avoid eating it, like those are emergency calories. And they're dirt cheap. Sometimes that stuff's like 80-90% off, like a couple days after the holiday. So you
Well,
can buy that, stick it on a shelf for years, and if you can't get out of the house for whatever reason, or the supply chain breaks down, hey man, you've got that chocolate back there.
right.
hey, Doc.
There's a book series that kind of bases part of its thing about that. I'll try and look it up here real quick. I listened to it on Audible. I think it was like 188 days later or something like that. But it was talking about how his wife was not a prepper, but he kind of was, and he went through and he bought all this shit from like Costco, and like he put the receipt in with it later on, so that when it's like, oh my god, pound of salt, salt
Right.
costs like maybe
You
$5
know,
now.
hey, I really appreciate the discussion we're having, and
Yeah, we are soon to wrap up here.
yeah, we're kind of
Yeah,
getting
my
to the
bad,
end.
man.
But I remember, hey, Dr. Mack, you've got a recurring event every weekend. You want to talk about that for a second?
Sure. So just real quick, my Kickstarter is up today. It's the last day, the last 24 hours. I'm 278% funded. Um, for a $1, we've done stretch goals. So for $1, you can get 3 audiobooks. For as little as 17, you can get 5 audiobooks. And then that's just because they're stretch goals. Like
And what is
I never intended to sell stuff that cheap. I'm raising money to print my 13th novel, and because we met the funding goal so quickly, I've been wanting to do audiobooks for a long time. So I said, hey, if people want to kick in more money, if you want to get your friends to come over here and kick in, like I'll these audiobooks, which honestly I'll sell for like $20-$25 a piece later. I was like, I'll just give them to you all for dirt cheap. If you can
real quick, what is the Kickstarter called?
Swords of Faith Book 3. I gave it a shout out on the Kevin Sorbo episode. I called in to the after IRL. But anyway, yeah, it's Swords of Faith Book 3. You can find it super easy. Also, like my last name is Mac Roberts. And if you search Jeremiah Mac Roberts on the internet, I'm literally the only one in 8 billion people. So MC Roberts, there's thousands of those people. But MAC Roberts, there's only like 500 of us in the world, and I'm the only one whose first name is Jeremiah. So for better or worse, I'm easy to find. But yeah, I do have the reoccurring Paratus intervention. I do have that audiobook, which was funded by the Kickstarter, that is read on YouTube. So we listen to chapters and then we discuss it on Saturdays. So, you can listen ahead of time and you can discuss, or when it starts, you can listen, and jump into the discussion after you've listened to a chapter, however it works for you. But yeah, for about an hour at 2 o'clock on Saturdays, I'm on here talking about my books. And specifically right now, we're focusing on the one that I have in audio because that's convenient for the most people. And it's called the Paratus Intervention. Just real quick, since I'm rambling, it is about the premature adoption of a new technology. So I wrote this in 2018, and then here we are in 2020, and all these people are rushing out to get this vaccine. And I'm like, hold up, I got a book about this that I never published. So it's not about a vaccine specifically, but it was too timely not to release. So it was supposed to be part of a larger anthology. So it's a short book. It's a 2-hour listen on audio. It's like a 90-page book in print. It's a quick read because it was supposed to be part of something bigger. So if you don't do a lot of reading, but you're like, hey, this Dr. Max around here all the time, he seems all right. Like, hey, if you want to try to get back into reading, it's timely, and it's short. So maybe that's your entry point.
All righty then. Well, thank you for that. And
Thanks. And none of that's what I came up here to talk about, but I know y'all got to wrap up, so I'm gonna jump off.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for letting me come up, and y'all have a great day.
Thank you very much. So in the chat here, Brian has been linking to the philosophical studies with Hiddlestone and the Gunology 101, which I'm excited for.
And scroll up, you'll see I have the link to Dr. Mack's event as well.
Oh yes, thank you.
I've basically been spamming the chat with upcoming events, so yeah.
And those on YouTube, if you want to watch this, you'd have to go to the Timcast Discord, which you can find at the timcast.com. Any final words, Brian, Jeff? Any final words?
I mean, you know me, I'm always going to shill stuff going on in the Discord, so that's what I'm going to do right now. To include the follow-on event right after we end the stage. Stick around, don't go anywhere. We will be followed by Before IRL with the lovely and gracious Miss Olivia Clare, the esteemed Joey Canelli, and that old fart, Sunoski.
Right. Which, by the way, because he's here, if I'm giving false information, you can go and draw and quarter him. The October 6th event will be streamed here on this event stage.
All right. As for me, yeah, just if you're interested in the GC Windsor and everything, one thing I actually forgot to plug in. I do have a GoFund or Gifts and Go. I mean, and that's only if you just want to, to back us, to back our start and our launch and everything. But you can always just jump on and check out the website, see what it's all about. We have all social media. You can find it up on there as well. And yeah, you can subscribe as well. And I continue to update the newsletters and everything. So whenever I do get the initial amount that I need in order to start, I'll let everybody know. And and it'll be 3 months from the time that I'm able to start. It's 3 months production, and then from there, it's whatever your your shipment is, whatever you decide to choose.
Alrighty then.
And and definitely check out the interview that we did. I really enjoyed it. I like the style of it. It was nice free form, but as well it had its scripted flow.
I will have that up, by the way, sometime tonight, and I will. I'll have that sometime tonight on the Fluffy Hobo Show on YouTube and Rumble. So, for the time being, we're gonna shut the hell up and get off the stage. So thank you everyone for being here, and we'll give the stage over to the terrible triplets. Yeah.
Chris, Joy, Olivia Clare, it's your stage, folks.
All right. Goodbye, everyone. I hope to see you next week on Monday.